Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys. If we're meeting for the first time, over here I like cake. I love it. In fact, I do more than like cake. I love cake. And today we are back to doing some really serious cake stuff. We've had a couple of weeks of fun activity with non-cake related stuff and other things, but today we're back to serious stuff. What are we doing? I'll tell you in a moment, but a quick acknowledgement to those of you in the chat. There's Karabo, our South African friend, in the chat. There's Tahapeta, as always, and all of you in the chat. I'm sure the chat will grow whilst you're just joining us. Say hello to everybody. RD is here, sweetie. RD, great to have you back. How are you all? I hope you had a great weekend. I was looking forward to coming back today, and it's great to have you back, all of you. Tell us what your weekend has been, some highlights, anything you want to share. I think our last week and the bakes we had for the church event has been very eventful. I couldn't have done it without you. So thank you, all of you. And for all the massive support you showed to our little producer. You know what? Thank you so very much. It was so unprecedented, so unplanned. He exercised his own autonomy and agency to talk to you over here. But like I've said before, we don't entertain children as the main feature of the channel, but they're an extension of my family, and you're in my family home, in my home kitchen with me. So where appropriate and necessary, you will have him, depending on how it looks like, and most importantly, how appropriate it is for the time. I'm not going to bang on a lot. This right here, if you've been here, we've made hyper-realistic cakes over here, from a flower vase to a flower pot, like a garden pot or a plantain pot cake, to a burger cake, and then a handbag, and then we moved on to a shoe cake. For all of you, if you're just joining us, we do baking, we do the science-centered stuff, right? And then we do the artistic stuff as well. So we are back to artistry, because sometimes those are the moments to kind of like advance my own skills whilst teaching you something new. So what are we doing? I won't waste your time. Here's what we are doing. You see these photos here? We are turning this thing that doesn't look like anything into anything like this. What do you see on here? What do you see on here? Okay? What do you see on here? Let us know what you are seeing on there. Let us know. Tell us in the chat. I have a couple of photos, and I'll talk you through my sort of where I am at. We have one image, and this image is actually a cake, a hyper-realistic dog cake. And then this is a photo of an actual dog with the doggy cake. Both matter, okay, to bring some sort of detail and perception, because in carving hyper-realistic cake, you need a perception and scale. So I need both to guide me. I haven't decided very much whether I want to make a specific breed of dog, ranging from an Alsatian to a, what do you call it, a French bulldog, whatever it is. I'm not the doggy expert, right? So the doggy people in the chat, tell us what your favorite dogs are. I just want to make a cake that looks like a dog. And if I fall off the mark, it will look horrid, and then we'll call it a French bulldog. That's what we are aiming for, people. So if you're just joining us, hello there. Yeah, this may not look like a dog cake. Yeah, I know. We're going to make some miracles happen by I ain't no Jesus Christ, okay? But we're going to make some miracles happen right here, okay? So if you're just joining me, thank you for your faith in me. I will tell you right now that I am shitting bricks, because this is my first attempt. And my neighbors are outside there. I have some, the neighbors' kids are my friends, okay? And they are like my son's age, because I'm the lady with the cake and they love cake. So they stop by and they'll be like, hey. Meanwhile, it's cake they want. That's just by the way. So I did ask, Karabo say, a dog. I'm glad I joined in to learn. Okay. Tapita said, over the weekend, I asked what all of you have been doing over the weekend. Tapita said, I've been cooking, laundry, watched. I used to watch The Mentalist. It had a main star, Simon something. I forgot his name. Yeah, that was a good show though, Mentalist. My bestie at the time got me watching Mentalist. Can you tell the scratch recipes? Can you tell scratch recipes of sponge? What do you mean, darling? That is Rira. Okay, RD animal. Yeah, animals. I'm trying to upset the internet trying to go for an animal. Great to have you back, RD. My weekend involved cooking and entertaining family and catching up on TV shows and laundry. I mean, the laundry is a feature for us all, isn't it? Okay, I'm glad you had a great time with the family. RD. Karabo says, my weekend was hectic. A few orders making soup for our church. I was tired by the... Karabo, you are like me, my dear. By the time... Okay, so what I couldn't tell you on... Was it Friday? Friday was when we were doing the marathon bake. What I couldn't tell you was that the church event was actually a trip to the beach. I think the little producer hinted on it. But for safety reasons, I can't tell you in real time what is happening in my life. Do you get what I'm saying? For safety reasons. This is my home, and the internet can be a dark place, and curious people will find you when they need to find you, okay? So whilst I don't make a thing of talking about my whereabouts in real time, I will tell you where it's safe. So actually on the Saturday we were off to the beach, like in Great Yarmouth. It was a nice occasion to go away, but of course for safety reasons I couldn't tell you I wasn't going to be here. So I said I was making something for the church event and I left it as that. So yes, I was away at the beach over the weekend with the church. God, I am truly an African. Can I tell you, first of all, I can't swim. Okay, that is just by the way, I can't swim. And then secondly, I ended up at the beach with a blanket. If you know, you know. Okay, what am I looking for? Spatula. Yeah. So yeah. Now what are we doing over here, right? These are 5-inch cakes that I stacked for a cake tutorial, but I've repeated those tutorial time and again, and this ended up sitting in my cake fridge for a long time. So to kind of discard it, I thought I might as well utilize it for something something different, which is why we are making it into a doggy cake. Now, this is my very first try at a doggy cake. While some days... Oh, the fly is back. People, if you see me distracted, it's because I just need to rid of this fly, which is annoying me over here. Okay. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a good thing to kind of learn on the side and come and tell you about it. But the best part is also to bring you along the journey so that you can see that nothing is set in stone, right? I've been a cake decorator for a very long time, but there's always going to be a first time for something like a dog cake, right? So we are going to learn to do it this way, and then we'll see if we can recycle it. Now, to be honest, I have the images that I'm looking at to kind of guide me, and I only come here with the experience of carving skills. But carving a dog cake is very hyper realistic. Whatever you do, carving a dog cake is not like it's an intermediate to advanced skill, right? As you can see on the photo here, I have different dogs. It is just to kind of give me, these are all doggy cakes, by the way. These are not real dogs. These are just doggy cakes. And it is just to give me a different sense of the different faces you can carve for the dog, and then see what I can make out of it for myself out here. So in the meantime, I chose a dog that was lying down, simply because it is the most effective and simplest one to kind of work at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, if I wanted to do a dog that was sitting or a dog that was standing, it will involve so many aspects that are not beginner friendly. And since this is our first time, we just want to try and do this first. And actually, I think I'm doing things wrong. For a cake like this, you want to start with the head first. Right? Tatiana is back in the chat. As always, you will find that these are all old wasted cakes. So if you find that the cake doesn't look savory, we are not going to be eating it. So just be kind. These are all stale cakes. I saved them for just this purpose, okay? So don't you worry about it. Nobody's going to eat this cake. Whilst the cake may not have been baked purposely for a dog cake, it should give you some sort of idea about what making a doggy cake looks like. At the moment, I know it doesn't look like we are headed towards Dogville at all. That's the beauty of hyper realistic cake. Sometimes you start with something completely different from what you are aiming for. Right, I think what I am going to do is just cut this, yeah, so that I can have this. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I'm doing just yet. Stick with me. And this is the part where you're like, what do you say? How do they say it? Trust the process. Okay? This is a really trust the process, that kind of cake, right? So you are seeing me literally trip in my own kitchen in real time. Okay? I know making a doggy cake is going to be tough, but I'm not about to fall down here. Right. Whew. I'm just tidying my work surface to kind of give me space. Oh, Tatiana loves puppies. I think the trouble comes when you make the cake and then you have to cut it and then the internet goes like mad wild. I'm just getting a tray that will house the bits. You know, the puppy cake is all nice and dandy until you make the cake and then you have to cut it, especially if you get it right. And then the internet is up in arms like, why? Why are you cutting the doggy? So let's see. I don't know what the hell I am about to do, but hey, I am committed to the journey. So let's go and get to it, shall we? Oh Lord, people, can you see I'm nervous? Bear with me. Okay. Okay. If you see me move away from the screen, I wonder if you can see me at all. If you see me move away from the screen, it's just to give me this is where I will say I have left you people on your own in the capable hands of Tapita, Lollipop, Tatiana, and the rest of you, okay? Because I have to think through the choices I'm about to make here. I know it doesn't look like a dog cake, but trust the process. Wonder if you can see me. Tapita says, I have a very hungry caterpillar. Tapita, be kind. Tapita, you will be put to shame when my doggy cake is all done, okay? You will be put to shame. So be kind. I want to bake. I know I shouldn't be carving the back here, but since Tapita says it looks like a caterpillar, I am determined to put Tapita to shame. I can't get that out of my head. Tapita, be kind. Oh, Tapita. Tapita says, I know. Even I have questions, okay? I'll tell you what I am about to do. Gotta put some gloves on. I have a very hungry caterpillar. You know, it's about to look right when I get the cake smash, the cake, what do you call it? The cake pop mix out, right? Because that is going to help with the molding. Okay? So, that is going to help with the doggy's face. This is, trust the process, okay? Trust the process. I know it doesn't look like a dog And so are some of the cakes I've made right here. It didn't look like the thing. And then before you saw, we got there. So just have faith, okay? Which one? Who trusts the process? Who knows we are going to get there? Whatever we do, we are still going to get there. Now, Tapeta, this is in your face. This is not a caterpillar, okay? If I get my gloves out, I think I'm gonna get some of these cakes out. If you're asking me any question, I can't answer you yet because I'm trying to think. You are watching a thinking artist in action, okay? Tapeta trying to tell me my doggy. Yes, a caterpillar is the worst thing she could have done, because now I'm determined to transform the caterpillar. But hey, I don't know what I'm doing to start with. I just want to get like a doggy body first, like a doggy face first. And I'm doing that, looking at the image that is beside me here. And I've got ganache here. Much of some of the limbs I am going to sculpt using the cake pop mix. There's a lot of it's going to be a bit mad before it becomes something worthwhile, but never you mind, we will get there, because I am determined to not have a caterpillar for long. I remember one time I made a cake, right? And my son woke up in the morning. It was supposed to be a dinosaur. And he woke up in the morning. He's like, Mama, is that a frog? That was when I began to question all my artistic skills. I was like, what? Can you not tell what this is? He's like, Mama, it looks like a frog. I was like, God, how did I get here? Okay. Now that is a leggy caterpillar. I don't know why I'm laughing, because I cannot see. I cannot see. I kind of feel like I woke up one day and thought, I'm going to choose a miracle. Oh, guys, Right, for those of you who are just joining us, we're trying to make a dog cake, but for now, I know. Trust the process. It doesn't look like a puppy. It doesn't. But you puppy people, don't get mad at me. We are trying to make this puppy together, okay? At the moment, I don't know what I've done. Right, okay. Now I kind of feel like, what is this? Okay, it's okay. I can laugh at my own. I can laugh at my own work, which is why you shouldn't take yourself a little too seriously. Like, I mean, okay. Glad. Now stop playing and get to work. Now we have the doggies. What is it now? It's not I don't think it's a caterpillar now because it's got 2 legs. Now what have we got? I remember when we made the hamburger cake, somebody saw it and thought it was a church to start with. And then that bugged me and I changed the whole thing. So, Tabitha, what do you think we've got here? If you can't see what I'm doing, never you mind. I will make sure. We are just trying to get the... It's not a worm anymore. It's not a caterpillar. So what is it? What do you see? What do you see? I don't know what you... I have no clue. Now that's the doggy cake. Oh Lordy. Look. You know we will certainly end up with a doggy cake. As surely as the Lord lives. And I am still stood here, we will have a doggy cake. But the road to the doggy cake is not straightforward, which is fine, When you're doing something for the first time, look, first of all, you'll probably be hiding somewhere in a corner of your house. Secondly, you will not be stood there doing it in front of so many people. So I am facing all my fears out here, okay? You see a beautiful face, darling. Is it my face or my little doggy? My little miracle doggy out here. Why am I laughing? He looks like a missile at this point. Can you see a missile? Okay. Glad. Stop laughing and get to work. Right. All right. The face should firm up because I have buttercream in it. It hasn't. Okay. I mean, we've got some form here. We are not done yet. Oh, even double, is it doubled? Oh, double-edged sword. Can see, I mean, double-edged sword. You are in the spirit. Thank you, person. Okay. The little hater of a sister called Tapita out here says she can see a worm and a caterpillar, whatever she sees, but she can't see a dog. Meanwhile, strangers are seeing dog and all. Tapita, you are not my sister anymore, okay? Right. Okay. I think I should be focused on the face here. Right. I have to mark where I think the eyes are going. Now, this will not have been your traditional way to learn how to make a doggy cake, right? But I've also searched wide and far on the internet to see what help I can get. And the techniques online are super advanced. So I am trying to make this super achievable by the techniques I'm using, just so that you can see it from start to finish, what it would look like. And most of the time when you are making a puppy or a pet, the face matters first. When you get the face, everything else comes into because you imagine if I put ears here and I got the eyes and the nose right, everything else becomes like falls into place, if you know what I mean. So, and plus, oh, look at this, is how messy it's about to get. Can you see my my apron is messy already? Okay, so I kind of think I've gotten the sort of scale of the face already. As you can see, it's a dog lying down, so I need to stretch the limbs out and the hind legs out a little bit, but my focus is on the face. Except the problem I have here is you could use Rice Krispie treats to make the extension, because remember, the cake is not purposely baked for the dog. I am making it out of a cake that is already there. So to start with, I have to find ways to kind of create extensions and corrections, which is why I use the cake pop mix. But because the cake pop mix has buttercream in it, you can feel that it's soft here. There's no form to it. I can't carve it or do anything whilst it is still soft. I have to get some form, because I have to add fondant bit to highlight, say, the eyes and the nose before I move on to do anything else. And I can't do that whilst it is still like soft and mushy. So I'm going to wipe this. I've gotten an idea to what I am trying to do here. We're still left with the limbs. So I'm going to wipe up, tidy my workspace, leave this to chill, and then bring you, kind of talk you through what I'm thinking of doing and how I'm going to achieve that, by which time we will get some, that to set in the fridge. And then I'll bring it back and see if we can try again. For now, I cannot do anything except just leave the surface to set first. And for those asking what we are doing, can I tell you what we are doing without scaring you off? We are trying to make a puppy dog cake. We are trying to carve a puppy dog cake from scrap cake. That's what we are doing. It's a puppy dog cake from scrap cake. So we are not done with what we are trying to achieve yet. But if you stick around, we will get there. Okay? It is my first time undertaking this project, so it is exciting, but it is equally daunting. But like most things, it's always good to learn something new, and I hope by the end of this you can see how trust the process eventually got us to what we needed. Okay, so I've got myself a little like scraping flexi scraper here to kind of like get the bits. Ragu, you are so kind. You say it looks good. It looks like a missile. Right, we're gonna put this to chill. Let me see if I have space here. Not this one. Okay. Okay, that's gone in. Now let's tidy our work surface. And then I will show you some of the sample images properly for those of you who are just joining us. There are 56 people in the chat. If all 56 of you said, kind of gave a thumbs up to the video, I am sure YouTube will be excited. So please, if you've just joined us and you're wondering what we're doing, we're a cake making channel, and we make near realistic cake items. And today we are trying a puppy cake. And boy, oh boy, can I actually feel the heat in my belly? I can, but can I trust myself and the process to achieve it? Of course I can. So let's get this done. Okay, you've got my attention for a minute. Here's the thing about when we really get into hyper-realistic cakes. It can be awfully difficult to kind of engage whilst undertaking the task, because the task requires a lot of focus. And most of the time I am undertaking this task for the task for the first time. I do that for several reasons, which is that obviously as an artist, sometimes I have to undertake projects for the first time, and that requires actually having to practice to advance and grow my skill for myself and my business, and also to enjoy the process. So I could take time out realistically and do all of that and then come and teach you. But part of the live experience here is to give you a raw behind the scene moment of what I know and what I don't know. Can I make a hyper realistic cake by following a detailed instruction guideline to achieve it? Of course I can. Is it easy doing it for the first time when an audience is watching? Never easy. But what is the lesson here? The lesson here is that you get to then see the lessons and the humanity even in advanced skill, right? Even though I've done this for 10 years and I always trust myself to kind of like get to the end, even if I'm not sure how to start. It kind of should inspire you to know that for your very first cake, whether it's your first one, whether it's your 100th cake, there will always be a new challenge coming your way. And for that, you have to mentally prepare yourself. The battle is mental. Like, you have to win the mental battle of understanding that even though there's uncertainty ahead of you, you are going to employ the skills based on what you have done before, and also enlist the availability of information to kind of complete the task that is ahead of you. Is it going to be challenging? Of course. I mean, you can't see I'm stressed over here, but believe me, my belly feels warm, okay? But are we going to get this done? Of course. And by the time we get it done, the joy is that you then get to see a very real and raw aspect of my skill, which is that even though I've done this for a long time and I run a business, yes, it doesn't mean that I am an expert at everything, which is where the lesson really is. With that in mind, I am so sorry that when we do, for those of you who have always been here and have always been supportive, you know how it goes. We have time where I stand here and then we talk and we chit chat and we laugh, okay? Especially when I'm doing the familiar things. And what does familiar thing look like? When I'm talking about the science of baking, when I'm over here mouthing off about ingredients, sugar, everything else, baking processes, you throw a question about cakes to me, I answer them. Those are familiar because I do those almost every day. But when I am undertaking a realistic cake, which is the very first time I am undertaking such an advanced project, on a regular day, it requires focus. Anyway, it requires me to kind of think through what I am scaling and doing and thinking, which means that I'm in my mind a lot, okay? And then the added layer is that I'm having to do that in real time in front of you, which adds extra amount of pressure, which means I have no like room but to kind of get into tunnel vision, which means that the compromise is when I'm doing that, I am unable to engage very much. And for that, that is kind of like a preset to say, if you see me for the first time, this should not be your view of our entire experience here on the channel, especially if you're asking questions and I'm not able to answer. Because when I'm doing something like this, my attention is kind of focused on at the task at hand. But of course, like most of the hyper-realistic cakes I have undertaken in the past, I make room for finishing the task and then coming back to talk to you. In the meantime, most of the time, you will be left in the capable hands of my moderators who will keep you engaged. So if you're asking me a question and my moderator can answer, they will keep you engaged. And I hope that should help whilst you're in the stream. Nonetheless, I say all of that to say I sincerely appreciate you for being here with me and for watching my worm, the caterpillar, kind of evolve into a puppy. That's enough talking. There is Capricorn, is it Capricorn class? Capricorn class, thank you. You're welcome. Nicola, you had a healthy lunch. I was sat at the table waiting for my food. I didn't see it. That salmon and the salmon rice noodle. Nicola. Blake is asking what is a realistic cake. Blake, a realistic cake is an item that is in a cake an item in real life that is represented in cake form. Okay, so any real life element that is represented in cake form in close likeness to the real item. So we're talking whether it's a flower vase, you have a flower vase. We can make different flower vases, but where the flower vase in cake form mirrors a real life flower vase. In this case, we're making a puppy, like as in a puppy cake. So a close likeness to a real life puppy, like a sleeping or a lazy puppy lying there. That is what we are doing. In the meantime, I can't really take my apron here seriously. The apron is like, it's a mess. And I know that by the time I come to cutting this video into a short form, I will have the hygiene police in the chat going, go and wash your clothes and respect your audience. I'm like, go back to the black hole where your brains belong, okay? Do you realize I'm in the kitchen and the apron actually is meant to shelf what I'm wearing, and also to kind of be a barrier between what I'm doing and what I'm wearing. So if the apron gets dirty in the process, yeah, the apron is not a prop, you know. But some days I am surprised by, well, am I? I am surprised by the belligerence that is full on display on the internet sometimes. Sometimes you're like, how can anybody be so ignorant so loudly? I mean, sometimes if you're not sure, I mean, if I'm sure of something that I know, I think self-awareness tells me we are a whole like breed of people with different experiences scattered across a wide space. So what I know may just be limited to my point of view, and for that there is room for alternative viewpoint. So I don't purport to think even the things I know that are set in matter of fact are completely true. Do you know what I mean? But some days I'm surprised by the belligerence on open display on the internet. It is so wild to me. But that is just by the way. My apron is dirty, and that's because I'm undertaking an advanced carving technique, and for that there is a lot coming at me. Okay. My dear, God is with me. I know. You know what? I am so pleased that we have a very safe community here. Okay. And I think the thing that jogs my mind is that we are very safe here. So every time I see somebody saying something wild, it's almost like it jogs my head a little bit. But yes, we are very positive here, and the group is kind of like, everyone in the community is very kind and sweet, and for that I am grateful. So what are we doing? We are attempting to represent a dog in cake form that may present similar to this. Okay, that is what we are doing. This is what we are aiming for. Now, are we aiming for the same texture and color? Not necessarily, but the form should look similar, something similar. Now, for the face, dogs come in different breeds. So you can have it in a bulldog. So the positioning is similar, as you can see here. And if you look close here, we have different dogs in similar position. Right? This is why did I choose this position? Because the positioning of the dog is fairly simple and very beginner friendly. If I had attempted to do anything else, like probably turning the dog or moving the limbs in different way, it will require different carving techniques and will add a layer of task to what I am attempting to do. And while this is a first time task that I am undertaking, my hope is that I can leave this super beginner friendly for you to undertake if you chose to do this in your own time. So for that reason, I am keen on just trying to keep what I can keep simple, very simple, without making it more advanced than it should be. And that is the goal. Okay, that is the goal. Good Vibes is in the chat. Hello, Good Vibes, my people. Thank you all for being here. So that is the goal for doing this. Like I said, I have some modeling chocolate that I left on the side. Like, these are all by the time the cake comes together, you know, we did everything from scrap cake. Okay, scrap cake, scrap everything, because I have stuff that I need to get rid of that I am still hoarding. So let me see if I can just put this in the microwave and see if I can use that to carve the limbs. We are not doing all of it today, by the way. Okay, if you're just, because if I was going to be doing this all today, I will not be able to talk to you at all. Okay, so we are going to do what we can, and at this moment in time, the cake is in the fridge chilling. Okay, this is I attempted to make homemade what do you call it, chocolate modeling chocolate, and it fell apart, but I can use some aspects of the modeling chocolate to use some parts of the modeling chocolate to create some features on the dog. Okay, that's what I am hoping to do. Like, for instance, there are some aspects of the dog, let's see. For instance, this part that I wanted to leave to set. I can advance some of it by using modeling chocolate. This is a bit too much. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. You have to also have like an idea about proportions and scale. And the thing about a dog cake is that as long as we are not going for a specific breed, you can almost always like make room for allowances, which is what I am doing here. When I watched tutorials of the dog cake, when it started, it didn't look like a dog cake, and before long it came together. So I am hoping I can be able to replicate that. The modeling chocolate does well because you can kind of like move stuff around if you like. And you have the doggy's nose. And then you almost like bits here, and that's where the carving comes in, because what is this? I know it doesn't look like a dog. Never mind. Me neither. Me neither. I don't. This is a trust. This is completely trust the process kind of thing. Okay, just stick with me. I will never lead you astray. This is a stick with me, I'll never lead you astray kind of like oh, kind of like call. Okay, stick with me, I will never lead you astray, yet you are being led astray. Does this look like a dog? Can you see a dog? If you can see a dog, you have more faith than a mustard seed. Okay. Anything, Nicola, please, sis. I love you, okay, and I love your faith in me, but right now, Nick, just say a prayer for me. Because that is no dog. Okay, that is no dog. Carabo, can you see a dog? If you can see a dog, you have more faith. Oh Lord, where are my carving tools? Okay, let me get the carving tool. Okay, now that's the tool. You know what? This whole thing is so chaotic. This whole thing is so chaotic, I can't tell you what I'm doing. Okay. Anything but a dog. Those haters in the chat call Tapeta. it's my dog, okay? Well, can you see I've never had a dog? Can you tell that I've never had a dog? Because clearly, this doesn't look like a dog, does it? But never you mind, we'll get there. It will turn to a dog. You will be put to shame. You all Tobiases and Sambalats in the chat, you all will be put to shame, okay? I'm not there. Oh Lord. Look, doggy, you better behave. I will never lead you astray. And yet, I think I can see a dog though. In my head. Oh, Lord. See, Nicola says, I think it's starting to look. Nicola, you saying that has given me faith. Thank you, sis. I think I can see a dog too. But we are far from there yet, okay? We are far from there. So, because this is where you form the bits. Because we are trying to form this part, right? So we can see the nose here. We can see this bit here. We can see that bit there. But, and then the eyes, but we are not there yet, okay? I can see a dog though. I can. At least I'm feeling a little more confident. I know the ears are going to flop this way. So I can then begin to shape. You know what? We are forming. It looks like a bulldog. If I have to tell you what it looks like, we are not there yet. Because you should see it for yourself. But for now, let's see. Okay. Trust the process, okay? Trust the process. Have faith. This is a trust the process kind of like thing out here. Okay. I think I can see a dog. Can you? If you, for those of you in the chat, if you can see a dog. Okay. Tabitha says it's a mustache, but walrus. Good vibes says you've got it, Gladys. Good vibes, you my people. If you are not here fanning the flames, telling me and encouraging my delusion, you will be fired, okay? You have to be out here supporting my absolute delusion to make this happen, okay? The delusion that I have that I'm a cake artist trying to carve a doggy cake. I think I see a doggy though. I see a doggy. I am confident I see a doggy. I mean, can't you see a doggy? I can. By the time fondant goes on this one and I start carving, you will see. I am feeling a little more confident. Okay? If you've just joined us, we are a bunch of crazy people here who love cake. We're a bunch of crazies and we love cake. Okay? Right. I'm just putting, and I don't know if this is better off like with an arm or fondant. I am not so sure, you know. So we'll see. I mean, I get to use the modeling chocolate, by the way, so that's a good thing. In the meantime, we've got form here. I think I'm kind of you know what? By looking at the doggy's eyes and face here, I am kind of excited by what we are going to be doing. Except for now, I can't do anything. I have to let all of this set and chill. And you know what? I want some texture to the skin. You know, sometimes when you get the dog and the dog has folds, for all the tutorials I saw, the folds on the body didn't show, and I want some folds. So I am adding some modeling chocolate to the dog. You know me, I'm a bit extra. Even though you cannot see a dog, I can. I'm the cake maker after all. So all I'm doing is, you can do this with fondant, you know, because sometimes when you see a dog, it has folds on the skin and creases. So this kind of brings a 3D element to the skin. So I'm just doing that with modeling chocolate. But you can do that with a little more Good Vibes and maybe a little more round on the head when you add the ears. Okay, yeah, some of the details we can change when we add the details. For now, I'm just enhancing what I want to see when the because remember, this is also an expression for me, you know. Whilst I'm showing you how to make a dog cake, it's also an artistic expression for me, because why else will I do it? Because then it's fun for me. So all I'm doing is taking the Dresden tool and then pressing the modeling chocolate into the back of the cake, just to create folds and creases on the doggy. Capricorn is asking if I do this as a hobby. I mean, I'm a home bakery business owner, okay? I make cakes for customers, but there's a part of it that is also because I enjoy it as a hobby. And the hobby grew, I mean, the business grew from a hobby to start with, okay? So I hope that answers your question. Lovely. Okay. Okay, there you have it. So I think I can see a dog. Can you see a dog? I can. Can you see this dog? Can you see this dog or that dog? A, look closely. Look at the face. A or B? Which one do you see? Put it in the chat. Which one do you see? I know this is just a skeleton, so be kind. We are not there yet. Okay. Most Good Vibes is seeing A. Oh, thank you. Okay, now that this is done, I think I'm going to leave this to chill. I'm not going to do it. Nicholas says, okay. God is with me says sees B, good vibe sees A. Either way, I am glad both of you can see different perspectives, because ultimately it's a dog cake. It can look like the dog you perceive. So I think for now, I'm going to leave this to set, wipe up, get some ganache, and then we are going to cover just a bit. We're not going to overdo this because the fondant has to go on and we're going to have to carve that out. But we're not doing all of that today. I'm just going to leave this to set, and then I'll wipe up, and then I can see if we can get the ganache on that. I am beginning to feel a little more confident in the dog, because initially it was like, wow, that is a lot to undertake. But now I can see a dog, so I am kind of like happy with it. For those of you who are expressing faith in what we are doing, you are the MVPs, because people, auntie out here sweating like a chicken. In my language, right? In Ghanaian language, there's a proverb that says, even when the sheep feels sweaty, you don't see it because it's hot. And yet, because of its wool, you don't see it. So my wool here is that I'm supposed to be a pro. Bear with me, please. Does Daddy know? Daddy? Daddy? The little guy wants the computer for something. Do you know? Okay, go and check then. Right, sorry, my little guy wanted my attention a little bit. Okay, people, now we have sort of gotten our cake together a little bit. Okay, for those of you who think we have gotten a dog now, thank you. You inspire my confidence. You make me feel better. You make me feel less anxious, because trust me, I might look like I'm having fun, which I am, but it is very challenging. It is really challenging, because to kind of do this in front of your people, it's a lot. But thank you for all the love and support so far, people. You guys almost always are the reason, like, even when I feel scared, I'm like, let's do it anyway. Because you guys will be out here, like, making me feel like it's the most amazing thing that we are doing out here. So thank you all. Right. We're trying to get... Tabitha says, it does look like a dog. I can't wait to see him. Do we have a name for the dog yet? Shall we find a name for the dog? Because you know it will be our in-house puppy, right? When we are done. So let's find a name for the puppy before we get there. Okay. This is the ganache that we are going to be applying on our names for the Mandela. Norman. Norman, I love you. But definitely not Mandela. You know why? You know why? You know why we can't go for Mandela? The internet never stops to kind of amaze me. You know why we can't go for Mandela? Because this is our first doggy cake, right? And it could look like anything. And just in case it ended up looking like a scary little old pup, we do not want Mandela, such an icon, associated with it. So out of respect, Mandela is going to be kept. You know what? Here are some guidelines. Jackie says, Jackie Gordon. Jackie, oh, Aunt Jackie. Jackie Gordon says, Jackie is a sweet name. Okay, you know what? Let's go for a unisex name, because sometimes when you make the puppy, you don't know whether it's male or female. Normally, when you see your neighbor's pet, you don't know what it is until you ask. And I'm no pet expert, but I want us to go for a name that is just like, that is quirky. I would call it Carrot. I'll call it Carrot, because that's just a suggestion, by the way. So that's just, let's go for something quirky, something unisex, something that is not identifiable to a particular gender. Not because we're trying to make the dog gender fluid, not that kind of thing, but making it open sort of adds to the quirks, because you know what, we are quirky over here, right? So somebody said cabbage, leaf. You know what, Good Vibe says leaf. I will call it leafy, you know, because it's cute. So leaf, cabbage sounds great. I could call it carrot, but a Good Vibe says leafy. And Jackie says JJ. Jackie, you are not letting go the J, are you? Jackie is definitely not letting go the J, okay? Tapika says eggy, okay? Well, I mean, eggy lends to the subject of cake, because we need eggs for cake. So eggy, Lou, you know what, the names are endless. So come on, we're not going to settle on a name right now, but leave your suggestions. I mean, there is Carrot, there is Leafy, there is JJ, there is Eggy. What I'll do actually, yeah, so let's make this fun. So Jade or JJ. So throughout every episode, whilst this dog cake is evolving, the suggestion for the name will continue. And what I'll do is, when we finish the cake, right, we'll put all the names that you have suggested. I'll go back and look at all the names. We'll put them in a pot, and then I'll pick one mystery name. And then that will be the name. How is that for a game? How is that for a name? Certainly not Mandela, though. Certainly not Mandela. So Nicholas is Droopy. Yep. So go on, you can suggest as many names as you can, because ultimately, the more names you suggest, the more the chance of your suggestion being picked. Does that make sense? So if you're just joining us, we are making a puppy dog cake, as in a puppy dog cake. And at the moment, anyone can pick a suggestion for a name as the tutorial develops. And every segment of the tutorial that we come back, we will recap this part, and then you can tell us what your suggestions are. And every day is new anyway. So today, if you've made suggestions, tomorrow you can pick up new suggestions. Just make sure you are creative. Our guidelines are that we want a quirky name. We want the name to be unisex. We just want a name that could apply for both, because it's just a cake. We don't know the gender. So we just want a name that is specific, that is not specific to a gender. It should just be something cute and something quirky. We will try and avoid like famous, respectable, notable people. You know, we can't call our dog Mandela, or we can't call it Obama. We can't call it even Trump. Okay, we won't do that, because we are not trying to associate we've known very cheeky and petty people naming their dogs after their nemesis. Okay, we don't want to do that. Okay, we do not have nemesis over here. And whilst we love each other, we don't want to associate the name to a particular person in the chat. So let's make it fun and uniform and fair, right? So yeah, the suggestions continue. Hippo, souffle. I'm liking the names. You know what? I like noodle. I like noodle. I mean, I liked is it the movie that had Bust the Moon? What is it? Sing. Nana Noodle Man. I like that name. So I like noodle. Hippo. Hippo. There's cakey, there's eggy, there is Sammy. Yep. So you know what? There's strudel. I'm loving the name. So you know what? Right. So when we get the cake all done, I will put all these suggestions in a pot. We'll shake it. I'll do it here live, and then we'll get the name of the cake. And for a while, the cake will be a resident doggy in the background. Okay, I won't cut into it. We'll leave it for a while, and we'll call it its name for a little while before we eventually recycle the cake into something else. I actually am loving this. So leave all your suggestions. Walrus. Walrus. Okay. I mean, I'm loving all the suggestions in the chat. So let's get on with that. In the meantime, here is cake no name. Okay, here is doggy. For now, cake is doggy. I think I'm loving it because I can see doggy. Can you see doggy? I can see doggy. I can see. Caterpillar, KK. Yeah, I mean, the names are endless. So what I am going to, I think I can see a doggy, which makes me feel a little more confident. But what I am doing is I am just going to cover it in just a little bit of ganache here. I'm not doing too much of this at all. It's just, and the thing about a dog cake is that it is, even now that I'm doing it, I realize that it is more simple than you think. But I guess you won't believe me because you will think because I'm a pro. But before I tried it, remember, if you're just joining us, this is my very first time of making a puppy cake. Very first time. Never tried it. Never had a reason to. Because some of the cakes I make, I also make them because I like them. And I don't have a dog. I don't have a need for a dog cake. Right? So I have never tried a doggy cake, and this is my very first time. And for the effort we put in, it's not that hard for it to come together, if you know what I mean. It's not that hard at all. But anyway, I am just oh, somebody put in the chat Nala. I like Nala. All the names you are putting in there, we'll come back and we will do a raffle, and then we'll pick a name. So get creative. We are not going to be petty. Don't name the dog after your troublesome neighbor. Okay, we don't want that, because we are going to remember it and your neighbor will not even know that the dog is named after it. Because there are petty people like that. Okay, we are not trying to be petty. We are just trying to be good people. So let's have fun with it. Bobo. Anyway, whatever you choose, I am not even for or against. We'll just have to come and do the draw, and whoever wins, wins. So if you want us to be at the end of the tutorial, we're like, where is Bobo? Bobo is out here. Then yeah, I'm not mad. If you're in the chat, be kind and like the video. If you haven't liked it before, or you're just joining us, I am just politely asking you to kind of like the video for us, so that YouTube knows you are here and you are having fun with us. Okay? Okay. Now I'm not doing anything else. So, where is Bobo the dog? Do you like to hear the dog's name being Bobo? Who likes Bobo? Now, look, we are not going to discriminate against your choices. You know, sometimes, you know what? You don't know you don't like a certain name until you have to give it to your own thing, as in something that is important to you, right? I didn't know I didn't like so many names until I wanted to name my son. And suddenly it's like, I hate this name. You know? So you never know what you hate until you have to associate it with something dear. So all I'm asking you is to be very thoughtful about the name options, okay? But I will call it Carrot. I will call it Piggy. Oh, talking about names, I found out something on the weekend that was fun and exciting. Turns out you cannot feed a bird a bird. I found that out when we went to the beach. You cannot feed a bird a bird. Do you see what I'm saying? Why is this even a conversation, Glad? Okay. Look at the doggy. It's looking like a doggy. Can you see a doggy? Can you see my doggy? I think I can see a doggy. Crows and eagles. I mean, crow is a horrid thing, isn't it? Crow and magpie. Why? Well, turns out it's a bit like whoever told me, try to explain it to me, which if you know, please comment in here. They explain that it's on the same principle that you can't eat your own kind because nature has a way of kind of like working it against you. So for instance, it could expose, if you went to feed, first of all, it's unethical because most birds kind of feed on, say, maggots and small insects and stuff like that. They don't eat their kind. You won't see a chicken gnawing on a chicken piece. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's non-ethical to give them something, you know, by nature they do not have, and it's kind of tricking their brain to have something that they are not inclined to have or would otherwise not have eaten. So it's unethical to the animal, but there's a bigger sense to that, like in terms of you could introduce some sort of bacteria or some disease to the animal unknowingly. It was not like a conversation I didn't ask for, but my mind was blown at the end of it. I was like, whoa. Oh, Jackie, you were so kind. Tapeta told me my doggy. Tapeta told me my doggy looked like a caterpillar and a worm. Thank you. It looks like a dog. I love it. I love this dog. Okay. I think we are done here. We are not going to do anything at all. We are just going to leave this doggy out here. Now what I'm doing is I'm just helping to carve this bit before we add fondant. We won't be adding the fondant now anyway. Okay, right. Now we need to carve the fondant limbs. Thank you. Tapeta. By the time I finish my doggy cake, you will have a special designation over here. You will be my very I will change your name from Tabitha to Tobias. I don't know. You have to choose whether you want to be Tobias or Sambalat, because we all know what happened to them too. Karabo says, I see a dog. Okay. Now, which one of you, now let's do some Bible study or Bible trivia. Who is Tobias and Sambalat? Don't cheat. Don't cheat. First of all, in what context do we find Tobias and Sambalat in the Bible? Don't cheat. If you don't know, you don't know. Show by hand in the chat. Have you heard the name Tobias and Sambalat? Karabo is laughing. Karabo, you never know what you get from this channel, you know. You get cake, you get a good laugh, you get a bit of madness, then you get Bible study. Oh, good vibes. You don't know this one. You know what? It's okay. Sometimes the subject is very contextual, okay? So, there's 18 of you in the chat. In what context? Season says, I've heard, yeah. Seasons, you've heard Tobias and Sambalat. Here's the question. In what context in the Bible do we hear Tobias and Sambalat? I mean, I've given you the biggest clue that it's a biblical name and the subject is Bible-centered. Tabitha says, okay, but when I said caterpillar, you hadn't really carved it yet. Okay, Tabitha, I'll tell you how that ties into Tobias and Sambalat, okay? But Season says she's heard Tobias and Sambalat. All of you in the chat, if you don't know, you don't know. It's fine. It's not meant to be serious, but it's meant... Tabitha, you have no idea. You haven't heard about Tobias and Sambalat. Okay, my people, let me wash my hands. This is what we are getting done today. We are not doing anything else. I'm going to leave the dog to chill completely. And I don't know whether I will come back a little later to continue or we'll leave it for tomorrow. It will depend on how much fondant I have. But for now, let's just accept that this looks close to any of the two dogs. Let's have a look. We have a photo of a dog here, and we have a photo of another dog here, right? So, photo 1, photo 2, photo A, photo B. And for both, I kind of think our dog is coming together, right? So, I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to wash my hands and then tidy this bit whilst I tell you about. So much of you haven't heard about Tobias and Sambalat. Oh, okay. God is with me. God is with me says, I've heard, but I don't know the concept. It was mentioned. Okay, that is fine. You know what? Over here, we come to make cakes. We laugh. And occasionally we do Bible study. And this is just a bit of Bible trivia for you, okay? The name Tobias and Sambalat shows up in the early days of the people of Israel in the days of Nehemiah, okay? You will find this in the Old Testament, in the book of Nehemiah. Now, without getting into the core details of the story, because I don't want this to be a preaching session for us, here is the context of Tobias and Sambalat. I think the context of Tobias and Sambalat is synonymous with an unbelieving spirit. More so, a sly, hating spirit. But by the way, I should caveat by saying that is not the context for which this conversation came up. It's supposed to be funny, you know. So if somebody says, stop being a Sambalat, it's more like stop being an unbelieving Thomas, if you like. But Tobias's and Sanballat's attitude was a little more deeper rather than fearful, because the Lord had instructed the people of Israel through Nehemiah to build a wall, okay? And in the building of the wall, was it a wall or a tower? It was a tower, one of those. Correct me, Lollipop Tapita. Just now, this is the part where you can Google. It was either a wall or a tower. And under that instruction, their effort had started failingly. It didn't look like where they were headed. And Tobias and Sanballat, with their unbelieving spirit, went round telling everybody, look at that wall. That looks so thin that if a fox, even so much, pushed against it, it will all come down. Do you see what I'm saying? So it is that unbelieving spirit that doesn't see the vision beyond where it starts. That's all. But I used it jokingly in a way to refer to Tharpatha. That is not who Tharpatha is. If there's one person I know who actually actively comes here to support me, it's Tharpatha. But you know, I love the story of Tobias and Sanballat, and in the past I've actually named my friends Tobias and Sanballat in a funny way, because the friend who brings me so much gossip and is so unbelieving of other people's like journeys, I'm like, why are you being a Tobias or a Sanballat? So that's okay. So it's the wall of Jerusalem. It's thank you. Thank you, people. I mean, we've learned something today. So we don't just make cake, okay? We don't just make cake. It's the wall of Jerusalem. So they go to build the wall of Jerusalem. Tobias and Sanballat are the duo who are like expressing discontent and uncertainty with their efforts. And of course, they were punished for it. So have faith, people. I say that to say, don't be a Tobias or a Sanballat, which is to say, have faith. Whatever we are doing, we will get there. But at least we've gone from, what did we start with? We started with a caterpillar, and then it became a worm, and here is what we have. I think I can see a dog. I can see a dog. I mean, at some point, I thought I saw a missile. I know, Tharpatha, I know, darling. I mean, yeah. Okay. Now our little doggy is in there, okay? But yes, Tobias, and so if you took nothing out of here, remember the story of Tobias and Sanballat, and don't be a Tobias and Sanballat in your life, okay? Speak life into the things you want to achieve, and be supportive, even if the effort doesn't look like where it's headed. Because you know what? The Bible still says, do not despise small beginnings, because even if the Lord desires the work to start, and sometimes you have to start and fail at it at the beginning, okay? That's a bit of encouragement for you. I know that the Carabo, we are always here to have fun. As much as we want to learn to make cakes, I mean, we don't just stop at cakes, do we? We learn a lot of things. Tabitha, I remember you saying something when we were talking about faith, and I think I must email you. Tabitha, you better get in that Bible and read your Bible, okay? You, Tabitha, I'm talking to you. Now, all of you, close your ears. Tabitha, this is for you. Tabitha, go read the Bible, okay? That's all. Tabitha says, I'm still not sure which one I would choose. I will let you do that for me, Gladys. You know what? I like Tobias. It sounds great in my ear. I like Tobias, okay? Okay? Tabitha, you know, my people, when we come here and we talk about faith and the Bible and all of that, my knowledge of what I know as a Christian is not steeped in the community of what church, you know. Going to church is one thing. And let me just say this whilst we are at it. Going to church doesn't mean you know God or you fear God. Okay? Let's be clear. Going to that building, okay, with all the people who supposedly believe in what you believe in doesn't mean you know God or you fear God. Let's be clear. And by the way, this is where I lose some of you people, but I'm going to say it anyway. And just because you know one or two maverick, you know what I'm going to say? Just because you can sing along Maverick City music and what do you call it? Tribal and all think about any gospel singer, from your CC Winans to your Marvin Saps, just because those people are writing songs that reflect your faith and are set in the subject of your belief system, doesn't make them the custodians of your salvation and the conduit to knowing Christ. Okay? And so while I'm at it, when we come here and the subject of Christianity and faith comes in, here's what I want you to take out of it. If we're talking about a Bible quotation and a Bible verse or something, and I relay that in the lessons in practical form that we can take away, okay? When you can, take that exact verse we had, go and sit down and read it for yourself and have an understanding of it in your own perspective and draw your own lessons and experience from it. Because you know what? That will be the only way you can build a formidable relationship with God and also be steeped in your faith. Because I know a lot of church people who need healing in their spirit. Believe me. I know a lot of church people. And a very long time ago, I was one of those people who thought going to church and just doing my bit community-wise was Christianity and being Christian. No. The part where even when you are church hurt or there's a reason why you don't go to church doesn't disqualify you from being Christian, from maintaining an active relationship with God. Okay, so just because you don't have an identifying building to go to doesn't disqualify you. However, just because you were affected by the building doesn't negate the possibility of seeking another place that can feel safe for you to go and identify with. That said, the act of being Christian and building a strong faith is an active exercise. And what that looks like is sitting with the word, understanding it, understanding the context, the lessons, and having the Holy Spirit kind of convict you about it. By so doing, I cannot come and stand here and represent the Bible in any way for you to just go along with. Do you see what I'm saying? That's all. I thought I would say that because it's important, because we talk about faith here, we talk about our Christian values here, and I think it's important for us to set the stage on how important it is that we are all responsible for our salvation and our actions towards building faith and maintaining a relationship with God. And on that note, that's the Tobias and Sanballat conversation over, right? Now let's get to Kate. Season says, can fellowship with like-minded people anywhere? Yeah. I think I must have missed something. Okay, let's go back. Let me see what I missed over here. I mean, the conversation got serious real quick, didn't it? It got serious real quick, you know? Yes. Yes, God is with me, true. Season says fellowship with like-minded people anyway. Yes, but you know what? It's all also back to what you know from the Bible, because believe me, the Bible is so open to different forms of interpretation. The adulterer, the fornicator, the alcoholic, all the things the gossip, all the things we consider sin can be misrepresented. I mean, in Ecclesiastes, the part that says can two something to do with marriage. I forgot exactly where it is. I know it's in Ecclesiastes somewhere where it says can two something unless, I mean, find me on the next tutorial. I will remind you on this verse. And I've seen what I'm trying to say. I have to filter it, and you will see me in real time trying to find the appropriate word. I have seen F-boys trying to use that quotation to woo a woman. Believe me, that's the word. I can't find, forgive the profanity here, but I've seen F-boys quote that scripture. And when I come back on the next tutorial, I will find a verse and I'll tell you. And then you will see what context. If you didn't read the Bible for yourself and understood that the context is actually using that specific quotation in a broader context to encourage how positive marriage can be, you'll just find somebody just pick that small little verse, the verse that has an A and a B, right? Okay, somebody says, can two come together unless they agree? Thank you. God is with me. Put the entire verse in there. Put the entire, it's a verse that, it's a three, in the chapter, it's a 3 verse that has different things it was saying, right? Two cannot walk together. Put the entire, not just the verse, but put the entire, I think it's wherever that is, cover the entire, what is the Ecclesiastes? Okay, right. Let me tell you. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9 to 12. Okay, let's see. I have my Bible up here. Let's look at it real quick. How did we end up here? Ecclesiastes. Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Verse 9. Okay. Let's see. Okay. 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other. If one falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in trouble. Okay, it's the verse 11. Thank you. The verse 11 says, likewise, 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm. Thank you, my people. The verse 11. What does it say? Likewise, 2 people lying close to, likewise, 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm, but how can one be warm alone? I wasn't lying when I said I have found F-boys trying to use that 2 people lying together can keep each other warm to woo a girl right in church. And I'm thinking, let's go and bring the Old Testament God back. Because people be out here on these streets putting God's name in things that has no business with him. You have somebody barefaced, right, in a church with a girlfriend or a whole wife trying to tell you 2 lying together will keep each other warm. And I'm like, May the Old Testament God strike your mouth with leprosy so it's crooked in real time. But that is just by the way. Tabitha said, you ask that every time we end up here, Gladys. I don't know how we do other than God must be making his... You know what, Tabitha? He must certainly be making his presence known over here. Okay? Because I don't know how we end up here. Because believe me, this is the most uncomfortable conversation out here. Okay? Because we are here to make a doggy cake and go home. We are not here. When I tell you I'm Christian, okay, that is not to say I'm a perfect person. I live by trying to exemplify the values. And the simple action of Christian life is to be kind to your neighbor as Christ was kind to us, to be humble in all your endeavors. And I don't mean the kind of like modern day humility where it's like humble brag and all of that, or to kind of like defer your own success or not validate your own journey. No, I'm not talking about that. But when you go back to the Bible, it says, the Bible reads at some point saying, they will know you are my followers because of the love you have for each other, right? And there's a context to that where the love Christ showed for us was very actionable. Besides the fact that he died for us, you're not going to die for anybody, okay? But the dying also comes in your own self-deprecation. Do you know what I mean? Like you giving up yourself every day, like of the things that may interfere in your relationship with Christ. Do you see what I'm saying? But without even going into it, here is a simple thing my sister once told me. If your character was put on the podium and was supposed to be the benchmark for which a non-Christian will become Christian, do you think your character will pass the test? Okay? Whatever you do, will anyone look at your character and be like, your character exemplifies a certain standard and value system for which when you say, I am a Christian, that person will say, oh, no wonder. Well, I actually want to be Christian too. Would your character pass the test? Because actually, these days, Christianity has been reduced to judging each other and judging non-Christians, the speck and the, something in somebody's eyes. We're busy being Pharisees over here. So this part of the conversation is very hard for me because I'm not perfect. Just because we are holding this tension and conversation doesn't mean I'm perfect, you know. But I also realize that it's important for these voices like mine and yours and those of us who believe in what we believe in to also be louder and stronger in spaces like this, because that's the only way we can also have influence and be heard. Do you see what I'm saying? So I am not hiding, but I'm not trying to be anything I'm not as well either. So for instance, when I say read your Bible, look, my pastor is not going to tell me anything I don't know in the Bible. And believe me, if he calls me and tells me anything about the Bible and he's quoting something, I'm going to go back and read it for myself and ask the Holy Spirit for an understanding. Because you know what? Many people have trusted the wrong conduit and have been hurt because of somebody who misrepresented God. You know, that pain you are feeling about the church called hurting you is not what God wanted for you. And it's not God's fault that somebody misrepresented God's image to exploit and hurt you. And I think that conversation has to be had openly so that people are embracing of their faith to be safe in it. And the only way you can feel safe is understanding the word of the Lord for yourself. That's all. Good Vibe says, okay. Good Vibe says, it's not uncomfortable to me. We are living in a time where the war and hate is killing us. I love that you spread the word of God to share love and spread love. You're welcome. Tabitha, being humble in a quiet way. God is with me says, yes, we are not perfect. Only God is. True. But that said, I think we've had we've had a mixed bag today. We've gone from picking the name of our doggy to finding out about Tobias and Sambalat, and to actually going to Bible. Where did we end up at? We ended up at Bible study lane. So Tabitha, my encouragement for you, I remember, because it was when we were doing the Bible study and you said, I remember, forgive me if I'm wrong on this one, but I think I saw the chat where it was quoted. It could have been you or somebody else that said you don't, is it that you don't go to church but you believe in God? And that just kind of made me think, I want to sit at a table with you and ask you why. That doesn't mean going to church makes you a better Christian, and not going to church disqualifies you. It's neither here nor there. But in the proclamation that I do not go to church, sometimes there is nuance there, and I would like to know. But I'm just encouraging you to say, read the word for yourself. It can be uncomfortable, and it can be, I mean, there was a day in real time, I used to come here and then we would geek out on Harry and Meghan and pop culture. There was a day in my life where I had a conviction of the Holy Spirit going, the time you spend talking about this for the entertainment value, could it not be used for something a little more valuable? And suddenly my perspective changed. Because at the end of the day, the amount of time I spend consuming the Harry and Meghan content for just the fun of it, or for the mindless activity that is, could I be doing something with it? Of course I could. So in that moment, I made a conscious choice to make sure that there is like, both can be true, because we can't be out here adding to the mindlessness of the world when there is actual real value in what we also believe in. So that is not to say the small like pop culture like commentary and social commentary about things is unchristian, but it can't just be one thing every day, because what you are allowing in your spirit will stick. And if it's negativity you are embracing, believe me, you put negativity in the world, you will find that too in your world. So both have to coexist. And for me, if both have to be, we have a laugh today about this, but yes, we check each other on what we are feeding our spirit. That's the only way we can grow. All done, people. It's 5 o'clock. Hello. If you have something to say to me, you better say it now, because our doggy, let's go bring doggy back. I am so proud of doggy. Can you see doggy? I told you, it's trust the process. Trust the process. And did you trust it? Did you think we'll get here? Did you think we'll get here? Because I am loving this. I am waiting to get its doggy. Yeah, doggy is looking good. Doggy is looking amazing, and I'm loving doggy. So on our next live, we'll be covering doggy. We'll be doing the other limbs, and we'll see how far this goes. Otherwise, do not let anyone pick a small part of the Bible to come and manipulate you. Read it for yourself. And on that note, doggy and I say goodbye. We'll see you on the next one. It is most likely going to be perhaps tomorrow. Okay, people? We'll be back tomorrow where we can add some details to doggy. But otherwise, I'll see you soon. Happy baking and take care, everyone. Take care.